Hey guys and gals, and welcome to a interesting series. If none of you know, version 1.32 beta hit today, and hopefully by today sometime, just the guys that don't want to play beta will be actually playing beta. What does beta actually do? The beta 1.32 actually do? Well, if any of you have actually played any of the, the older version of X4. I mean, it's kind of funny that you say older version. It's only been out for a week, but um, anyways, if you played that version, you would know that the economy dies. It basically dies, and the reason for that, what we found out, is that it dies because the shipyards are no longer building ships. They won't replace ships like the factions, like the Argons won't replace their ships. So. And if you don't know how the economy works, which is what this episode is about, the economy works on building ships. And to build ships, they need to be lost. And to be lost, you need to have wars. And if the AI doesn't have ships to fight the wars with, then, well, you don't have wars, you don't have replacements, and you don't have an economy. And that's pretty much, the economy got pretty stale after a while. And I'm in the Argon shipyard. I'm just kind of here to show you guys. This shipyard used to be dead in my game. The only time it would have activity is when I actually bought ships. But right now I have AI, transports coming in, I have ships being built that aren't even my stuff that's being built. And that's an important aspect of how X4 works. And X4 reminds me of Falcon 4.0. And if you guys don't know what Falcon 4.0, Falcon 4.0 came out in, I believe, the late 90s, 99 maybe? Maybe the 2000s, I don't remember. No, it was pretty close. I think it was 99. But it was a flight simulator based on the F-16. And it had a true to life at the time real war where each side had a certain amount of ships and vessels and armies and tanks and stuff like that. It was like so far ahead of its time that it was pretty cool. And I do believe to this day, even though I don't play it anymore, that it is still being used by a select few that have, mods and stuff. So what does that have to do with this game? Well, I believe X4 is, kind of ahead of its time because of how the economy works. And if any of you have ever played X3, you would know that the old economies were based on they weren't real. They had artificial sinks for, like, the shipyards would just suck up all of the resources for nothing. They wouldn't actually be building anything. And how X4 works is that all the factions, the major factions that is, they have to build their ships the same way that you, the player, builds them. They have to have the resources in the shipyard. They have to mine the resources. Look, we got another ship coming. And they have to have, the only thing they don't have that we have is credits. They have unlimited credits. We don't have unlimited credits, and that's just something they had to do to make it kind of work. But yeah, the factions have unlimited credits, but they don't have unlimited resources. They still have to mine for them. It was just interesting because that ship right there was just built. I have never seen the AI build a ship because it hasn't worked since 1.0 came out. So it's just something that in 1.32, which hopefully you guys are getting today, has changed, and you are getting that. So it's very exciting to see that the economy has actually taken off now in the game. And if we look around, we can see that there's ships coming up. I do have my Xenon sectors. It's funny because the Xenon, where do I have them? Where do I got them? Okay, so right here, the Xenon were dead in my game. They had nothing. They had no ships, no nothing. And I've just watched. They are building all these mining ships and these power distribution units that I mean, they never had this stuff before, so they just started building this stuff. They're building fighters, so they're basically getting ready to start to attack the other races, but they have to build up some and do all that stuff. So yeah, it's like awesome. It's awesome to see everything is working now, and you can see that they are building ships. They're coming out. The power because they have the same rules that we do. They have to supply their shipyards with what they need. They don't need quite what we need, but what they need to build their ships. So that's why they have mining ships and these power distribution units. So that's how they build their ships. So it's exciting. It's probably going to take a couple hours for my game to take off again with battles and stuff, since it was so dry with what it had and what it offered. Yeah, it's kind of cool seeing this. I do have all the gates kind of camped with satellites where I can watch what happened. I did prepare for this. I mean, I am still in the beta, but I did prepare for I could see what the AI was doing and all that. So again, don't listen to the naysayers about how the economy works. The economy works because it's been proven that this is how it works, because this is why it didn't work. It was bugged. It didn't work before. The major factions have to build their ships the same way that you build your ships. They have to have the resources, and they have to buy it. Now obviously they get credits for free because they can't make credits. They can't go do missions and stuff like that, but the factions have unlimited credits, but they don't have unlimited supply. So they have to build their ships, their fighters, their transports, all that stuff. That's all the major factions. The only exception is the CAC and the pirates. They do get their ships spawned in, but because they don't have factories and stuff like everybody else does. So that's cool. So that's basically how the economy works. You start by the low end. You have miners that get all the ores. The ores go and they make like silicon wafers, and the silicon wafers make microprocessors and smart microprocessors. Ore makes, you know, like the armor and the engines and stuff. And the engines, these are all factories that exist in the X4 universe, and all these factories have one common theme, and that is to support the shipyards to make ships. So that's what the whole economy is based off, is building ships and losing ships and replacing ships. So that's why the economy wasn't working in all the older versions, according to the developers and how everything else works. So that's about it. I'm in 1.32 right now. Hopefully you guys will be playing. You can play the beta if you want. I mean, there's nothing's holding you back. You just, you just got to be willing to do that. So hopefully by today, by the time you see this video, maybe it's like 6 months later that you're watching this, who knows, and it's already past all this, but yeah, hopefully you guys will start seeing what I'm seeing, is that the universe is taking off, and hopefully you have a little bit more understanding of how the universe kind of works in this game. It's kind of special, really. It's kind of cool, how it actually does its thing. So as always, guys, this is Malkuth 1974. We'll see you later. Malkuth, out of here.